to explain the artist experience, please welcome to the stage Sera Kalo. All right.
Kalo. I'm a singer, songwriter, and producer. Can I sit down? Is that okay? Cool.
An evening with Sera.
Exactly. Yeah, so I'm from the United States. I've been living in Germany for 14 years and in Berlin for 10 years. And yeah, so I'm here to tell you about how I became curious about Web3 and using virtual technology in my music. It started similar to Tor with Karamuru, with the pandemic. During this lockdown time, it was extremely difficult for musicians to perform. We couldn't perform. The live music industry was at a standstill. And yeah, for us, it was a lot of creativity that we couldn't do, and it was a revenue stream that was no longer available to us. And so a lot of the projects that I had just stopped, but I did have one collective, which was Labaili, that was hell-bent on trying to figure out how to stay relevant during the pandemic times. And we experimented and came up with the idea of metaverse concerts, live streaming, and we experimented with it, became the prototype for what we're doing now. And it inspired me so much that for my project, I wanted to figure out ways to use this kind of technology. And so I decided to incorporate it in, my hand's shaking because it's the first time I'm doing something like this. Okay, so yes, because so I have an EP. It's called the Serendipity EP. It's 4 songs, and it's an audiovisual EP. And I decided to use virtual technology to create the visuals. And we use motion capturing technology. I wore the suit, so you can see the way that I walk, you can see the way that I dance and talk. We also did face mapping. And these are really important details because we were able to create an avatar that was very much like me. And I think it's important to always have a focus somewhere in this virtual world of something that is similar because it's also new. And so we created these very extravagant visuals, but had something very familiar in it, which was me. Oops. Yes. And yeah, so now we have these 4 chapters, and they're going to be released April 28th on all digital platforms, and we're releasing the videos on YouTube. So I had to laugh a little bit when we started talking about Web 2.5, because that's kind of how it's going to be. Because when we were thinking about the possibilities for how these videos can live beyond YouTube, we realized the possibilities are endless. We could take these videos, we could turn them into games where players can go in and, listen to the music and try to find a new path, because the theme of the Serendipity EP is about transformation and healing. So maybe it can be a game about them finding their own path to healing, and then the last song being the goal or the end, or who knows. It can be a museum where we could sell different digital assets as NFTs. It could be a metaverse platform. It could be like a social platform for people to just hang out if they like a certain environment more than the other. If one video we have very, very beautiful nature graphics, another video we're on top of a building. It's really, really exciting. I really enjoyed it because I felt like as an artist I could express myself in many different ways, in more ways than I probably could in real life. I could also realize the music and the sounds in different ways. You know, I talked to the graphic designer that I work with. His name is Marcus X. Fiedler. And I was telling him how at this point of the song I feel like I'm exploding. And so he kind of created something like where I turn into particles and I start floating in the air. I can't do that in real life. So that was really exciting. And there's like another scene where I'm standing on top of a mountain, Kilimanjaro. It's like, okay, I can't really fly out there and do that right now. So it was really fun to imagine these different things and realize them and experience them in a virtual way. And so, yeah, I would really encourage artists to get to know virtual tech and kind of explore Web3 and see the possibilities that can come out of it. I also have to say that I don't know if you noticed on one of the slides that Karamodu showed, you see a suit costs like 10,000 euros or something like that. So thankfully, I did get funding, which allowed me to be able to try out this new technology, and I did get some sponsoring to help me achieve this. So this is also a very important aspect. And one thing that I do appreciate about Diasporic Arts Alliance, for example, is that it's creating accessibility to artists who often have marginalized backgrounds, and is kind of, I don't know, keeping the connection to the innovation, because oftentimes this innovation, this creativity is coming from some of the poorest areas, it's coming from people with marginalized backgrounds, and I think it's really important to somehow keep them involved in the process, and also, yeah, to keep the connection essentially, so that even when these products evolve and become great and all of these big corporations are pouring money into it, that they don't lose access to where it began. Yeah, and so I've talked about my visual EP, and I would like to show you one of the videos that has come out. It came out over a week ago. It's called Can You Speak My Language, and it's the first single of the Serendipity EP, which will be released April 28th.